In the previous episodes of our series, In the Footsteps of the Japanese Tsunami, we gradually explored the areas around the cities of Miyako and Yamada, and continued further south to the city of Otsuchi. At the same time, we introduced you to the fates of the cities of Minami-Sanriku, Gessenuma, and Rikuzen Takata in individual episodes. So we were able to take a closer look at almost the entire northern region of Japan, which was devastated by the 2011 tsunami. Those who are watching our series already know that this is an area characterized by deep bays and very rugged coastline. However, we still have one place left, a place that is located approximately in the middle of this area, the industrial city of Kamaishi, one of the largest cities that has been hit here in the north. Friends, welcome to the Top Topics channel. The final video of our series from this area is here. But before we start, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. And make sure that you check out our new Instagram and TikTok account too. Thank you, and let's get straight to it. Now, let's start where we left off in the last episode, and that is in the big bay near the city of Otsuchi. On the other side of the bay is the first part of the city of Kamaishi, called Shiretsu. Just like the city of Otsuchi, all the buildings here were erased from the face of the earth. There was also a sudden flood that quickly flooded the city, uprooting the pines that served as a natural rampart. The breakwater was insufficient, which caused really big damage. However, the lesson was learned, and as you can see, the new breakwater is very robust and high, especially when we compare it with the original one, which can be seen on the left. The difference is really striking. The whole city agreed on the same strategy as the city of Fudai once did, the construction of a massive wall. Thanks to this, there is no significant increase in terrain, as in other areas. But now let's move on. We are going to fly over these hills, which form the Hakosakicho Peninsula, and which separates Otsuchi Bay from Ryoshi Bay. Ryoshi Bay is relatively small compared to other bays in the area. At its end was the district of the same name, Ryoshi. The word "was" is entirely appropriate, because after the tsunami there was literally nothing left but a pile of rubble. It was the narrow profile of the bay that intensified the effects of the tsunami. The bay ended with a small port, which was bordered by a wall approximately 10 meters high. Buildings were hidden behind it. When the wave came, it manifested itself again as a rapidly rising flood. The whole port was filled with water relatively quickly, similar to filling up a swimming pool, a giant pool. The harbor walls first began to overflow, and then succumbed to the tremendous water pressure. The walls collapsed and the water literally scattered the neighborhood to dust. As you can see, today the wall around the harbor is being restored, but with one big difference. There will no longer be any residential buildings behind the walls, and the whole district has moved hundreds of meters inland, where the whole valley is increased in places by up to 15 meters. What you see is an incredible engineering work, where the landscape was completely transformed. The buildings that will one day stand here should certainly not be reached by another wave. Now we move through this massif, which represents the Kamaishi Peninsula, and behind which is the bay and the city of the same name. As you can see, the bay is very large, and on its shores there are several port communities. The industrial city of Kamaishi lies exactly at the narrow end. New breakwaters were built at the estuary of the bay, because the original ones were swept away. However, this solution is only to break the wave. The purpose is not to stop it. In the case of a large wave, their effect on stopping the water is minimal. We are now in the port area where the wave entered the city. It was all captured from this building. Over here, the force of the water was so enormous that the whole port district disappeared, except for the large concrete buildings. Tsunami also recorded from these elevated terraces on the surrounding hills, where a large part of the population went during the evacuation. As you can see, there is a gradual renewal here, but unlike other cities, there is no significant increase in terrain. Several concrete buildings withstood the tsunami here, while smaller brick and wood buildings were scattered. The future tsunami protection strategy in this area is therefore different. Other very durable concrete buildings, most probably industrial ones, that will withstand the tsunami will be built here. No small residential buildings. That means that in the case of a wave, people could hide on the roofs or on higher floors, which ensures safe survival. An interesting strategy and very different from other cities. The city center itself was very seriously damaged. But what was a great advantage for Kamaishi is that there were also many concrete buildings, which significantly slowed down the tsunami and spilled it into the streets, so the water lost most of its energy. This place is notorious, and there has been a flood of many lighter buildings from the city center. As you can see, the concrete buildings are still standing, and this is the path that Kamaishi will continue to take. The city returned to life relatively quickly. What is certainly worth mentioning is the removal of debris, which was logistically very demanding, because many debris was wedged in the streets of the city, which remained due to its structure. Fears of another wave remain, but the people who stayed here counting with this option and know that they will have to face the nature again, sooner or later. We can only hope that this time people are going to be more prepared. My friends, that's all from the mapping of the northern regions of Japan, where the tsunami hit hardest. Let us know in the comments if you want us to map the southern area or the Amori area in a similar way. You decide. At the same time, please follow us on other social networks, such as TikTok or Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to more videos. Bye.